of Texas and now kind of shifted especially just to the north of our area and actually including our area. Now over the weekend, much of North Shore and South Shore locations, many of them were under a heat advisory, and today it's just been trimmed back mainly for the North Shore for that heat index between about 100 to maybe close to 110, although we're not seeing it that high just yet. Might get a little bit warmer this afternoon by a few degrees, but we might not get quite to that 110 I think this afternoon. Here are current temperatures mainly close to 90, and here are those feels like temperatures for many spots in the upper 90s. The lakefront now feeling like 100, Buras feeling like 105, and this cluster of locations has been showing some slightly higher heat index values over the past couple of weeks, so they might be running a little bit high, but a lot of us feeling quite steamy today, and that will be the trend for this week with that big high pressure in place, which I'll show you in a second. Feels like temperatures through this afternoon, just tracking what it could feel like with the heat index soaring into the 100 to 105 degree range and then dropping off for this evening. Also, when we look outside on our camera, very hazy look to the sky right now, and we do have an air quality alert that's in effect for North Shore spots and South Shore locations all the way to the coast because of that Saharan dust actually. So you can see it overhead, and looking at our forecast into the next couple of days, kind of thins out over the Gulf Coast, our part of the Gulf Coast, but we may have another plume of Saharan dust moving over the Gulf of Mexico, which actually would kind of keep things quiet as far as any tropical development goes there. Not expecting anybody. We'll take a look at the tropics in just a second. Today here in New Orleans and north of the lake and all along the coast, we'll be looking for those highs in the 93 or 94 degree range, maybe even a little higher, although our records for this week are mostly around 97 for the next few days. And as we get into maybe a week from now, the record jumps to 99 for a day, I think by Sunday. So we certainly are in a hot, humid stretch, but not quite at those record highs, I think, for most days this week. Radar really quiet at this point, but watch what our models have been showing. Kind of like yesterday, it was supposed to be a mostly dry day, but there were a few pockets of rain, and today I think will be similar. This is by 4 and 5 p.m. starting to see a little bit of shower or even thunderstorm activity. Not everywhere, but for some of you, you'll get a little downpour that could maybe cool you off a touch. And then this could be by about 6:30 or 7. Not set in stone, but you can see the trend. Once we get to the afternoon, we start to see a little bit of lift in the atmosphere, even though generally we have the big high pressure, the big upper high in place, just migrating and getting that firm grip across the southeast and retreating a little bit to the west by the weekend. Now looking at the tropics, there's nothing out there, no threats to us right now. Actually, with this kind of cloudiness, and you can see this kind of activity around Central America, very typical to see that just with some moisture, with some low pressure generally. And in the Pacific, there are a couple of spots that might develop. Those would not make it into the Gulf or anywhere in the Atlantic basin. But there is that one spot that we've been tracking since yesterday in the Western Caribbean Sea. There's nothing really there yet, but it looks like there might be a low chance of it developing by mid or late this week. So you can see this would be the general area for development. And what we will have over the U.S. really for the next week plus will be that big high I just showed you. So we'll see whether it kind of hugs Central America more, whether that low pressure is able to kind of organize a little bit right over the waters off the coast of Central America. Kind of just have to wait and see. Right now, still only a low chance of development, so we'll just kind of have to watch what happens here. But it does look like the movement for whatever might eventually consolidate would be to the northwest and then probably staying way to the south, maybe roughly around parts of Central America or Yucatan or the Bay of Campeche. So not expecting this to be able to get close to the U.S. even in a week plus, mainly because of that big blocking high. So we'll keep you updated on that. Right now, again, just kind of watching it take shape over the next week or so if it does. 7-day